Hello friends, welcome on board Tips for Productivity. Tips for Productivity is a means for sharing knowledge on the ways to increase productivity. Viewing and sharing of this content will help me getting a wider reach to this initiative. Do keep subscribed to get an instant update of the tips released on this channel. It would be fun to create a personal calendar on Excel where you can change in your months, years, and start date of a week. For example, here we have a calendar for October 2022. You may have a calendar for November 2022 or November 2024. Okay, and similarly at the same time you can have a different start day of a week from the drop down selection you make. So if you want the calendar to begin at Sunday or maybe to begin on a weekday, so you can have those selections made on the calendar. So in this video we will just cover initially the formulas that are used to make this calendar, and in the next session we will show you how to build a calendar. So let's begin. For making this calendar I have used the formulas like date, text, weekday, if functions, lookup function, and drop down list from fixed values as well as selected values. So let's cover them all. So how do I get a date? So date is a function which can be used by typing in equal to date. You can go to the function argument. So you will have to open the bracket first. So date, bracket open. You can see the arguments that are there, which are all mandatory arguments. Go to f of x, that is to open the function arguments. You can type in the year 2022, month 1, day 1, and when you click you will get the date in the format that you have formatted this cell. So you can do a custom format, like you can select from the available formats, or you can go to custom format and say I would like to see the month as a YY. So you can see it that way, or you can just format it again to see it as only date, or you can format it to see it as date and month. So you can format it the way you want once you have that as a date. So let us format it in this case as DDMMYY. So that is how you get to use the date function. Now how do you get the date in a specific format? By using just without using any custom format. So if you want to show the date but without using any custom format, then what we can do is we can call for the date function, and then we will use that date function in the text formula to give a specific formula. So firstly, what does text formula do? So when we use text as a formula, we will open the bracket. So there are two arguments in this. One is the value that is being computed, and the second argument is how to format that into a text, like how do you want to visualize that. So suppose if I am calling in for the date function in the value, so I type in date, I open the bracket, I select an year from the one of the cells, put a comma for the month, put a comma, and I say 1 so that I get the first date of that month. And how do I want to visualize it? So I open a double inverter comma, and I say I want to visualize it as say month followed by year. So after the double inverter comma, I will type in MMMM 4 times. I put a hyphen and I put YYYY, and I close the double inverter comma. So it is showing me the full month name with an hyphen followed by the year in 4 digits. So once I do that, so this is how I can get the calendar name, month name in the calendar. Okay, so I'll be using the text formula to get the month name in the calendar. Weekday. So other function that I have used in this calendar is weekday, that is to compute which is my weekday, whether it is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just to identify what is the first date of the month, it falls into which week. So how does weekday function? So if you are having a calendar which is starting from Monday, then weekday has specific arguments which can identify that. So basically, when you have the weekday function, it has a serial number which is the date, which can be computed by using the date formula or calling a date from a cell. And the return type actually means how does your calendar start. Internally, Excel identifies certain numbers to identify what is the start date of your calendar week. For example, in this case, let us look at a date which is 1st of Jan 2022. Now I want to see if my calendar is beginning from a Monday, then how do I identify Monday as first day of week in that calendar? I will go to weekday formula. I will select the serial number as this date in the cell, and when I put comma, Excel will list me the arguments that can identify the calendar. So here you can see 11 indicates that the first day of the week is Monday and it is going through all the way to Sunday. If I select 12, then that is when I am going to use Tuesday as the start day of week of my calendar. 13 for using Wednesday as start day of week of the calendar. Now if I use 11, for example, I'll select this 11 by moving the down or up arrows, and then I'll tab out, I'll close the bracket and enter. So it is saying me 11 indicates the calendar is from Monday to Sunday, and in that case my 1st Jan will fall on the 6th day of the calendar. So let us check. January in a calendar of Monday to Sunday, it falls on the 6th day in this calendar. So for example, if I am, instead of using 11, if I use 12, so I will go to 12, tab out, press enter, because 12 indicates the calendar start day as Tuesday. So if the calendar is starting on Tuesday, then 1st Jan will fall on, this is the first day, 2nd day, 3rd, 4th, 5th. So it is the 5th day. So that is how I indicate or locate the position of 1st Jan in a calendar based on the start date. I am putting in a value of 11 for Monday to Sunday, 12, 13, all the way till 17. This is Tuesday to Monday, Wednesday to Tuesday, Thursday to Wednesday, Friday to Thursday, Saturday to Friday, Sunday to Saturday. So in the weekday formula, instead of selecting the value here, I will select it from this cell. I will fix the date by pressing F4, by selecting C49 and then pressing F4, and now I can drag it all the way down. So whenever my calendar is beginning with a Monday, it is the 6th day in that calendar where I have to indicate 1st Jan. Similarly, if the calendar is going to start on a Tuesday, then I have to indicate 5th day in that calendar as 1st of Jan. So that is how I determine where I will indicate 1st of Jan in my calendar. So as and when we do the calendar, we will identify how that is going to help us. Now let's move to the next formula, an if condition. So what does if condition do in Excel is, we can write if condition where I can have a logical test being done, and if that test is true, then what is to be indicated, and if that test is false, then what is to be indicated. So it is either going to give me a true or false based on what I have indicated to be shown as true and false. So suppose if I say 1 equal to 1, it is a logical condition, which is a true condition. So if it is true, I need to see yes, and if it is false, I need to see no. So 1:1. Is it true or false? If it is true, then I will see yes. If it is false, then I will see no. So in this case, it is giving me yes. That means 1 is equal to 1 is true. So that is how we can use if condition to identify whether a condition meets, and if it meets, then I can go and display whatever is to be displayed. So I can give a condition that start day of the week is if it is matching 1, if the date weekday is matching the start day of the week 1, then to show that date, or else I carry forward the previous date and add 1 to that. I can do something of that sort. Now XLOOKUP can also help us in finding the position in a calendar. So suppose if I am saying my start day of the week Based on the start weekday formula, I am having certain values and I know that my calendar has to start on which date. So suppose if I am getting 1 here against a Saturday, then by using X lookup, we can find corresponding to 1 what is my first day in the calendar. So basically I can use this case, I can use X lookup and I say that my lookup value is 1 because that is my calendar reference, and then the lookup array is I will look under the column headers and my return array will be under the day of week. I press enter, so it says first day of week is on Saturday. Similarly, if I log this array references, lookup array reference by selecting the array and pressing F4, by selecting the return array and pressing F4, then those remains fixed, whereas I can move across the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that is indicated. So it says that 1 is a Saturday, 2 is a Sunday. So I know now where my first day of the calendar, because when I am selecting drop down as Monday, then indicated on the Monday I need to have that as the first day of the calendar. So similarly, if it is Saturday, then I can have Saturday as the first day of the calendar. So this will help us in determining the start day of the calendar. Now I have also used drop down lists. So I have used a fixed list of values in the drop down. So how to create those to select the month. So how to create those will be once we are going to data, under data tools we have data validation. We click on that. In the drop down we select the list and we indicate we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now I get a list of drop downs from 1 to 12. So this can act as a drop down for selecting a month, so that user doesn't put in a value of Jan, Feb instead of putting in 1, 2. Okay, this is one way to limit the users to put in the desired values. The other kind of drop down can be from a selection of cells. So example, day of week. If I am already having a day of week in my calendar, so what I can do is, after getting onto a drop down where I am indicating to the user to select the day of week, I can just go to this same data validation and then select list. Now this time I'll click on this arrow and select the cells that are on the calendar, indicating from first day to the 7th day on the headers. Now once I do that, in the drop down list I'll get Saturday, Sunday based on whatever is on the first day, that will be on the first day of the selection. Suppose if this calendar moves to have 1, 2, 3. If my calendar is starting with a Monday, then I have Monday as the first day. So when I go to this drop down, I can see Monday as the first day. So this will help me in selecting the drop downs in the calendar. Now with all this, we are now ready to build in a calendar. And in the next session, we will just have a look on how to build a calendar. I will definitely upload a template also where you can start in on my next video. Thank you. So if you like this content, do share and like this content and do keep subscribed. Thank you.